Number two, the security aspect among the governors, the same levies that was just a tradition force, now they will be properly recruited with some recruitment criteria, and we have already started it, like education metric. They will work in the entire agency, not into that limited tribe to which they belong, and then they will be trained on the lines of the old frontier corps, and additionally they will also be having different sections to cope with the modern challenges. For example, how to face the drug crimes, how to face the what we call the rapid deployment forces, where the levies are required to act rapidly. And thirdly, what about the current situation when we are exposed to the IEDs or to the bomb threats? And lastly, what about the use of modern communication? So all these will be part of the levies. So that is a very big program. The US government is also helping, the federal government is helping. So to cut it short, the levies will be an upgraded force, almost like a police of the district. And then to it will be added the prosecution and the investigation branch. On the political front, there is a consensus that political parties had to be introduced, because, and I have not found a major disagreement on that. And de jure no, but de facto all the political parties do exist in tribal area, and we don't discourage them. I say de jure no, but de facto yes. And all the political parties, you name it, and you will find a president, a general secretary, and executive council there. The political parties. The third part is this frontier crime regulation. Why not to make some of the articles in it more human rights friendly? I will not go into the detail, but just to give a few examples, like every order should not be now be a speaking order, not the old time law that Mr. ABC is required to come to the political agent office or to the Tahsildar office or to the administrative office. No. He has to give the reason for what. And then if anybody is arrested, like the normal settled districts, within 24 hours he should be produced before a judicial officer, a political agent or APA, who are exercising the powers of the judicial officer. Thirdly, and that is very important, if you know about the writ jurisdiction in Pakistan, we have an article in the Constitution that if any grievances has happened for which there is no explicit remedy available in any law or in any regulation, one can go straight to the High Court and knock the door under Article 199, if I can remember correctly, that please redress my grievances. Parallel to that, we are establishing a higher forum we have proposed, and that has been approved, which will consist of people who are the retired judges of the High Court, or people who are qualified to become a High Court judge, and also the senior civil servant of that level, where any tribeman can go to them directly to say that I have these grievances and please I need a remedy for it. So these are some of the reform that no women, no children, no old age people will be arrested, and if arrested they will be granted bail unless there are some special circumstances which the political agent or the judicial officer has to explain. So these are the reforms, and when some people criticize us that they are very small, because I was part of that team which proposed these reforms. Our answer was very simple, that from 1901, this was a sacred document, nobody touched it. We touched it, we have introduced major reform in the available options to us. You please come ahead and you propose more reforms. But why not to repeal FCR? I gave you two reasons for it. First, it is not applicable to all FATA, it is hardly applicable to 10%. And secondly, and this is a challenge that I always put, whoever says we don't want FCR, tell them agree. What is the replacement law? Ask this question. In my 25 years career, I could not find a single person, literate, illiterate, advocates, counsel, lawyers, bureaucrats, politicians, who have replied me this question. So now no society can live without any law. That is, so this is the third one. On the development, how to make the area and the people acceptable to these changes, we must develop them. I mean, I am bringing regulation only and not focusing how the women, how the children, and how the people there, how to increase opportunities of livelihood for them. And our targets are very humble, very humble. We say, please bring them at par with the neighboring province. I am not saying bring them at par with Denmark or Finland. Just bring them at par with the neighboring district. With 3% female literacy rate, you are asking me to give rights under Charter 1, 2, 3, 4 to the women? Yes, I agree. But what about the other problems? I think we can discuss it long, but time is always a problem.
One last question, if you can keep it brief.
Thank you. My name is Sean Mann. I'm with an Afghan NGO, the Tribal Liaison Office. You mentioned that the end state would be the FATA becoming a part of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. As part of this, would governance, should there be an additional push to improve governance in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, formerly the Northwest Frontier Province?
I'm sorry, I could not. Can you explain to me this?
If the goal you mentioned for mainstreaming FATA is to make it a part of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa?
I have a reason for it. If some anthropologist is sitting here, it will be very easy for me to explain. If you look into the assimilation process, all the 7 agencies, the assimilation process is through the neighboring district. There is no cross-cultural cutting within the tribal area. So Afridis have mingled with Peshawar people. Mamans and Bajauris have mingled with Bajawar people with Peshawar and Mardan. Massoos and Wazir have mingled and mixed with the Banu and Tank and Diya Khan people. If we take tribesmen and we take the tribal belt as an independent unit, firstly, we are going against the natural current of assimilation. Secondly, the interests are now so giant that if we create this division, that look, this is my province and this is your province, then tribal people will be at loss. Why? Because all the tertiary institutes, like the training institutes, the higher education institutes, the higher quality services of medical, education, and even the research institutes, they are all located within Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So it means we have to start right from the word zero. And my last point is, there is no intercommunication between the tribesmen. Everybody has to come to the settled districts first, to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, then go to another area. You can't go from, now we have tried to build some roads, but still the traffic is, the Bajawar person will preferably come to Peshawar and then have any interaction with the tribesmen of other agencies, instead of all the way going from Bajawar to Maman and to Khyber and then to Orakzai and to Koram and to north and then to south. There is no such traffic at all. Even in the military there is no such traffic at all. What to talk of the civil population. So to me, the natural option is, and the one that is going to the benefit of tribesmen, that is the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. But this is my personal opinion. I mean, as a representative of the government, whenever we meet, I always put this option. It doesn't mean that the government has decided this to be, because ultimately the tribesmen will be consulted, because the constitution says so, that when you want to change the status of the tribe area, it has to be a consultative process. It is the constitution provision. And the president will call that grand jirga and will ask their opinion, and if they agree to it, then it will be promulgated as a constitutional change. Otherwise, simply administrative measures, you cannot change the status of FATA. I'm sorry, but I took a long time.
So I gather Mr. Khan will be able to stay here for a few more minutes, so you can come and ask him questions individually afterwards. But I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Mr. Khan, for that very interesting insight. And I wish FATA the best of luck. Thank you very much.
I think I lost